Hello and welcome to this Gttv News Bulletin with me, Hafsatuba. First, the headlines. President Barrow has launched first life storybook entailing his teenage down to his climb to power. The Ministry of Health has offered educational measures in tackling mental health illness, which has been exacerbated by stigma. Gambia Armed Forces promoted dozens of soldiers to different ranks. Rapper Attack is set to launch his latest album titled Putin at Q City. Women have blamed men for running away from responsibility as Gambia's low marriage rate hits a record breaking. In internationals, Houthis have recruited more than 200,000 fighters as Red Sea attacks rage on. Russia has anger against junta after government dissolves cabinet. Those are the headlines. Stay tuned for more detail after this short commercial break. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Gttv News and I am Hafsatuba. Now the news in details. The Gambian President Barrow has presided over the launch of a book he authored titled The Village Boy Who Would Be President at State House. The book entails the life story of the president from his teenage at his home village in Mankamang in the Central River region down to his climb to the hem of power in 2016. Aisha Tukori reports.
The maiden launch of the book brought together cabinet ministers, senior government officials, authors, family and friends. The President's Office and Fire Network, a publishing company under the Dream Big African series, co-projected the publication of the book through the approval of the President. Ya Adam and Anna Faye, the publishers of the book, said they were motivated by their desire to document the President's life story, that dreams do come true regardless of one's background.
President Barrow's childhood is a testament to the belief that dreams can come true, regardless of where you start in life. His story is a reminder that every child has the potential for greatness. And it is my hope that this book will inspire young readers to believe in themselves and their dreams.
The book was erudite by Gambian academics like Sola Mahoney, Aisha Jawara, and Nana Gray Johnson, who spoke of the rich liberal content of its inspiring message, especially for children and adults. The Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Professor Per Gomez, described the book launch as a significant milestone in the Gambian's history as the book detailed the story of the president, adding that the book represents a rendezvous of three worlds: the past, present, and the future.
Would be a powerful tool for educating the young, inspiring and empowering them in fostering a sense of civic responsibility, patriotism, and leadership as a legacy for the next generation. As the story ends, our confidence is restored and our promises are renewed that our country holds great promise, not only to the child from the city, but also to that child from rural Gambia, a constant reminder of the Gambia we want.
For his part, the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, thanked the five sisters, who he believes is truly humbling and joyous for him, and said the book represents a testament to the power of dreams and believes that everything is possible in life.
I hope that as you read about my childhood adventures, you will see a reflection of your own dreams and aspirations that would encourage you to pursue them with conviction and strong determination. Childhood is a precious time when our imaginations know no bounds. So we dream freely without limits. As the book shows, it is a time of discovery, learning, and growth. The experiences we gather during those tender years contribute to shaping us into the individuals we become as adults.
He said his goal is simply to inspire the younger generation who will grow to become leaders and prominent global citizens, but also will give a unique opportunity through the rumors and misconceptions about him, and express that he hopes the book will inspire young people across the country to aspire for success despite challenges.
A great opportunity to tell my story in my own way and with my voice to dispel rumors and misinformation. My goal is simple: to inspire the younger generation who will grow to become leaders and prominent global citizens. I believe that while reading the book will satisfy your curiosity about my humble beginnings and take you on a journey through my village life in Mankamankunda. My introduction to formal education, community service, and the spark that led to my political ambitions. Importantly, this book is not just about me. It is also about resilience, friendship, and the pursuit of knowledge. It celebrates the values that guided me through life, which I assume will echo in your minds. It is thus a book that shares the message that every child can positively impact the world.
Pledges were made from the audience. This include government officials and institutions, the private sector, companies and individuals, with the president himself pledging for 700 copies and others over 1,000 copies for schools across the country and for their close family members. Aissatou Koli, Gambian Talents TV.
The Ministry of Health has held an educational briefing aimed at educating the public on approaches to take and cope mental health illnesses in the country at the Malaria Control Program's headquarters. Fatou Diouf tells us more.
Amadou Jallo, an official of the Ministry of Health, spoke about the genesis of mental health, which he said is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her abilities can cope the normal stresses of life.
Country should be grateful, to him for the effort that he has done, for mental health. So we can't thank him enough. He has highlighted so many factors and so many important things that is a takeaway home for all of us. First of all, we have to understand, we are all vulnerable. There's no one immune here. If it is education, you go to Tanka, you find people that are more landed than all of us. If it is money, you go to Tanka, you find people that are wealthier than all of us. Yeah. If it is experience with travel, you go to Tanka, you find people that have traveled far and wide in this world. But today they are there. So who are we to say that we are better than them or we will not be victims like them tomorrow?
He added that mental health is not just the absence of disorder. Mental health and physical health go hand in hand. Mental health is important for individual, family, community, and national well-being, while describing the role of the media as very important in tackling stigma around the illness.
So it is important, but what is important, as he highlighted, what are the factors that are responsible? And this is why you are seated here. You are going to be taken through those factors so that you understand them. We are telling you, today is not the only day that you are going to report on mental health matters. And wherever you are called for, or whatsoever you're going to report, these factors need to be at the back of your mind. You have to know, what do I need to tell the public? What is going to be helpful there? Let's say, what is the role of the public? The family. At Tanka, it is when the cases are serious and chronic. This is the time these people are admitted. But the care doesn't start there, and the care doesn't stop at Tanka. So let's say before they get to Tanka, what has been done?
He continued that the over-exaggerations and inaccurate portrayal of mental illness in media as a stigma.
Is it done? That is the question mark. And the answer is no. Because if it is done, then we will not have relapse cases. People, before they are released at Tanka, usually they are stable. You don't release a person who is not fit to go home. But if they are released, they go home. Now you see them having relapse. So what is responsible? So this is why Everyone has a stake in this. We need to work together. It is not only us who can address the problem or the challenge. So we are saying after this training, or people need to...
Fatou Diouf, Gttv News.
The Gambia Armed Forces has promoted dozens of both junior and senior officers from the ranks of from Lance Corporal to Sergeant and from Sergeant to Staff Sergeant at a ceremony held at the training school at Fajara Barracks. Aissatou Koli reports.
The Gambia Armed Forces Training School held a promotion ceremony of its junior and senior instructors from various ranks ranging from Lance Corporal to Sergeant and Sergeant to Staff Sergeant. The promotion of the officers in uniform is based on merit and after meeting the relevant criteria within the ranks of the armed forces. In his remarks, Captain Sekou Jaju, the chief instructor of GAF Training School, commended the officers for their tireless efforts and said the event marks their selfless sacrifice and dedication to duty and remind them of their responsibilities as various instructors.
Today's event is a clear indication of reward for your selfless sacrifice, commitment, and dedication to duties. The long walks along the Salaji Brikama Highway through Jamanjeli and also the Tintimba Kamfenda route under very unfavorable weather conditions and sleeping in the trenches halfway full of water in the rainy seasons have definitely paid off. Let me be quick to say this as a reminder to you fine men and women in uniform. Inasmuch as this decoration ceremony serves as a reward in recognition for your hard work, it also serves as another beginning of a greater responsibilities in your army careers. As instructors, always remind yourselves that you will always be the fallback position for your colleagues in other battalions, and you can't afford not to rise to the occasion when they come knocking.
Staff Sergeant Baji Ansumana, who gave the vote of thanks on behalf of the decorated officers, thanked the school command for the trust and confidence and assured them of their responsibilities. And he said they will always be there to execute whenever the need arises and in serving the Gambian people.
I'm here today as a proud and grateful soldier to express on behalf of my colleagues our heartfelt thanks to all those who made this event a successful one. I would like to thank the school command for the trust and confidence bestowed on us by yet again giving us these additional responsibilities in the execution of our duties. Sir, on behalf of my colleagues, I hereby assure you that we are very much aware of the tasks and responsibilities this promotion comes along with, and we will neither relent nor fall short in doing what is required in the accomplishment of the assigned duties to all at all times.
In these closing remarks, the Commandant of the Gambia Armed Forces Training School, Lieutenant Colonel Seni Bayo, emphasized that their promotion on various ranks as distinguished officers are expected to put more efforts in keeping up the momentum.
Please allow me to remind the newly promoted soldiers that their elevation to various ranks is a call for high responsibility. Hence, they are expected to put more effort in their duties as instructors in keeping up the momentum and the hard work. This promotion should reflect positively in the way and manner in which you discharge your responsibilities.
The ceremony also witnessed the decoration of officers by their wives and other dignitaries and the military culture. Aissatou Koli, Gambian Talents TV News.
Rapper Attack is set to launch his new album titled Putin on February 23rd. He promised to make a record-breaking launch that has never happened in the history of the country's music industry. More on this report.
Attack, who will launch his latest music album on Saturday, promised to give his fans an exceptional music fiesta while vowing to make a record no artist has ever made in the country. Speaking at a press conference, the rapper Attack Gay has promised an aesthetic and electrifying album launching show while assuring full security throughout the event. He welcomed fellow artists to come grace his album launching amidst heat of beef in the music industry. Attack promised to break history in the music industry as he assured an absolute ambience to his fans. He went on to take swab at fellow artists while saying he is the Russian President Putin in the country's music. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Hapsatuba.
A debate over Gambia's low marriage rate between sexes has taken a new dimension as scores of unmarried women shift the blame on men for running away from responsibility to marry them. Gambia seems to be rocked with a sharp decline in marriage amid biting economic challenges and high rate of youth unemployment. Fune Jallo reports.
Unlike past years when the country used to see a rise in men marrying women ahead of Ramadan, but this year's marriage rate has sharply dropped, which has raised concerns of blame. Anna Coker believes the low rate is caused by the attitude of men, whom she blamed for dumping their women after marrying them. According to her, the country is hard, but also men will marry you, use you and dump you and go marry another woman. She said men don't love anymore. They are only interested in what they desire in women. Men nowadays don't marry for love. Satan Korea, however, said, despite some of her gender love for money, but insisted the chunk of the low rate problem is men, while adding that the main problem is the men. There are so many bad men who mistreat women after marrying because they are not into true love. But many of them are cheaters, she said, adding the men run away from responsibilities. Nowadays, because they fear giving out house chores money, Daisy added marriage isn't a joke. Therefore, people should think thoroughly before entering into marriage because many men are like weather. She also insisted that men's patience in marriage lasts in the first 3 months. However, Sheikh Wada linked the low rate to the high cost of living in the country while advising that once this problem is addressed by the government, that men will go after women and marry them. He said due to the high food prices is leading to increased inflation as food is a significant portion of many people's expenses. Suleiman Tarawale said women are not ready for men to marry them because they are demanding the cost of a private jet. Fune Jallo, reporting for GTTV News.
Well, that story from Fune Jallo will now lead us to our second commercial break. When we come back, we shift our attention to international news. Stay tuned. Now to news beyond our borders. The Houthis have recruited and trained more than 200,000 new fighters since the group began its action in the Red Sea in support of Palestine. A Houthi spokesperson says, adding that this is aimed at pressuring Israel for ceasefire in Gaza. Modulami Job tells us more.
The group has been intercepting and attacking Israeli-linked ships passing through the Bab al-Mandeb Strait on their way to Suez Canal. Popular support gave the Houthis enormous political capital in Yemen and led to the recruitment of tens of thousands of new fighters, according to analysts and statements by the group. Analysts are concerned that this surge may drastically alter the political landscape in Yemen and screw up any chances of a ceasefire in Yemen's near decade of civil war. The Houthis have also widened their attacks to include ships linked to a United States-led coalition that is currently attacking their position in Yemen. Despite fears over future Houthi offensives that could hinder a ceasefire deal, Nasser al-Din Ammar, a Houthi official who oversees the Yemen news network Sabah, told Al Jazeera that an agreement was still on the table. Opportunities for peace to exist, he said. He said they do not intend to attack any party other than the Zionist, American and British enemies because they are attacking us. I think that they do not have any intentions to target any internal party unless it targets us to serve the Zionists. Political commentator Hussein al-Bughaiti, whose brother Mohammed is a member of the Houthis political bureau, said based on his research, Ali Irani put the estimate of new Houthi fighters at close to 150,000 as of February 12th. The Red Sea attacks and the US airstrikes undoubtedly helped them a great deal in mobilizing support in comparison to pre-7th October, when the group's popularity was noticeably flagging, Nicholas J. Bromfield, a Yemen analyst, told Al Jazeera. The Houthis and various anti-Houthi forces have clashed since the April 2022 truce was announced, but there have been no major offenses while they were at the negotiating table. But analysts fear fighting could be renewed as the Houthis, bolstered by the new cohort, have already started to deploy some troops to flashpoints across Yemen. Even if all of this is a negotiating tactic, now they have all of these new fighters deployed to the front. It becomes a much easier decision to say, let's launch an attack, Brumfield said. The province has significant gas and oil reserves and its main base for the internationally recognized government. Losing it would be a massive blow for the Saudi-led coalition, but any offensive would likely have to be after the end of Israel's war on Gaza, Al-Irani said, as doing it sooner would erode the major political capital. Amazed by the Houthis, after nearly a decade of fighting, Riyadh is eager to end the war in Yemen, an event since October had done little to change that, analysts said. But the process was upended by the war on Gaza, with the Houthi intervention angering the US and raising their profile as actors opposing the US and Israel. This made the possibility of lasting peace in Yemen non-existent, Al-Iriani says. The Houthis and Saudi Arabia will resume the peace process, he said, but the Houthis are now an integral part of the axis of resistance. The axis, dubbed thus by Iran, includes Hamas, Hezbollah, and a loose coalition of groups in Iraq and Syria. Being part of it means the Houthis can expect continued engagement from the US and regional allies like the United Arab Emirates, which supports several anti-Houthi groups in Yemen. Should hostilities renew in Yemen, it is unclear what impact it could have on the Houthis' popularity. The situation in Yemen is already called the world's worst humanitarian crisis. The UNHCR and another aid organization working in Sana recently told Al Jazeera that Yemen was a forgotten crisis. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Mudlamin Job.
Guinea's military junta has protested to Russia's ambassador after his embassy reportedly warned of possible unrest in the capital, Conakry. The warning was issued after junta leader Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya dissolved the government on Monday and ordered the closure of all borders, Aisha Songowa reports.
Ambassador Alexei Popov apologized to the junta for what he called a misunderstanding, Guinea media reported. Kool Doumbouya took power in a 2021 coup. He dissolved his government on Monday without offering any explanation. He also ordered the seizure of the passport of sacked ministers and the freezing of their bank accounts. He dissolved his government on Monday without offering any explanation. He also ordered the seizure of the passport of sacked ministers and freezing of their bank accounts. Guinea media reported that Kool Doumbouya's decision led to the Russian embassy in Guinea advising Russian nationalists to be vigilant as there could be unrest in West African state's capital, Conakry. The junta reacted angrily with an official in its foreign ministry, summoning Mr. Popov to a meeting. Mr. Popov told Guinean state-owned television and radios it was a misunderstanding, a false translation of what was published. The announcement was published only in Russia for Russian citizens. In junta accepted the apology, while Mr. Popov said the incident will not affect relations between the two nations. Guinea is one of several former French colonies in West Africa to be hit by coups in recent years. The juntas, which seized power in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, has pivoted towards Russia, while being hostile towards French and the West African regional bloc. ECOWAS, however, Kool Doumbouya has tried to maintain good relations with all sides. He has promised to hold relations to restore democratic rule by the end of 2024. The junta banned all demonstrations in 2022 and has detained several opposition leaders and members of civil societies. Kuldumbias overthrowing President Alpha Conde in September 2021, saying the army had little choice but to seize power of rampant corruptions, discharge for human rights and economic mismanagement. Mr. Conde was Guinea's first democratically elected president, taking office in 2010 following the end of military rule. He was re-elected in 2015 but faced protests 4 years later when he changed the constitution to run for a third term. Aisha Songawa reporting for Gttv News.
That ends this news bulletin, but before we take a leave of you, here are the top stories once again. President Adama Barrow has launched first life storybook entailing his teenage down to his climb to power. The Ministry of Health has offered educational measures in tackling mental health illnesses which has been exacerbated by stigma. Gambia Armed Forces promoted dozens of soldiers to different ranks. Rapper Attack is set to launch his latest album titled Putting at Gttv. Women have blamed men for running away from responsibility as slow. Gambia's low marriage rate hits a record breaking. Houthis have recruited more than 200,000 fighters as Red Sea attacks rage on. Russia has angered Guinea's junta after the government dissolved the cabinet. I have been your presenter in this bulletin. Thank for your company and have a blessed weekend. Bye.